Let's be real, periods are as normal as any other bodily function. Then why all the taboo? We need to speak about them just as we talk about everything else when we have any medical conditions. Let's drop the orthodox practice of keeping quiet about the pain, the cramps, the psychological symptoms. It's time for us to break our silence and speak about it. Did you know these symptoms have a name? They're called PMS, premenstrual syndrome. Let's learn more about PMS and how to deal with it with our experts. Now, Dr. Tucker, please explain for us why us women have to go through this every month. What exactly is PMS?
You know, Isha, you sound as if you've taken off where Akshay Kumar stopped with Padman. And it's a very relevant question because 1/2 of the world's population at some time or the other has suffered from PMS. Now, PMS is a direct function of the hormonal yo-yo that a woman undergoes when she has menstruation, ovulation, fertility cycle, etc. Unfortunately, in some women, the premenstrual symptoms are acute irritability, breast tenderness, cravings for food, depression, headaches, all sorts of symptoms, a conglomeration. Now, you cannot afford a woman to suffer for 3, 4, 5 days like this because her hormones are gradually acclimatizing and she is finding her productivity going down. Neither as a physician am I going to give her drugs. So, we have to see that these premenstrual symptoms, PMS, have to be addressed so that it becomes comfortable for her and she goes with the flow, with a pun on the word flow. That's what it is.
You described this as a hormonal yo-yo, but I'd like to describe it more as a hormonal roller coaster that so many of us have to face every single month. Dr. Desai, there's got to be a solution other than popping painkillers, which we all do. What else can we do to help with the symptoms of PMS?
So as Dr. Thakkar mentioned, it's a very important and a very distressing problem. As you mentioned, it's not a yo-yo, it's a roller coaster ride. And when you look at women of today, whether they are students or whether they are working, they have to be active. And that's where this whole problem starts, is that this can disrupt your routines and disrupt your normal life. In fact, this has been taken very casually, in fact, and many times it's been used very, very in a derogatory way as saying PMSing, and therefore you just ignore it or something like that. That's not so. You need to really look at what exactly are the issues that you're dealing with. I think the first thing that a woman needs to do is that to consult her gynecologist. Actually find out what exactly is the reason for it. Somebody who may think it's a PMS, it may actually be some other serious problem too. So you need to get yourself investigated. Once you have investigated, your gynecologist has had a look at you, your physician, gynecologist, whoever is your consulting doctor, they need to look at you, they need to examine you and actually find out what is the real issue. Once they have done it and they have taken care of it, then the prescriptions or then the solutions can come up. That's where then lifestyle modifications, lifestyle changes, relaxations, biofeedback mechanisms, yoga, which can come in, and then the nutraceuticals come into the picture. Looking at it, whether there are certain nutritional deficiencies that you're facing, so you can look at certain multivitamins that can be there. Evening primrose oil has come up as a very, very exciting new thing, which has been used for last few years. There's a lot of evidence that has come up with these, nutraceuticals and supplements. There have been publications which are there in scientific journals. And therefore, you need to look at it as a holistic problem. You need to take it seriously. One of the things, Dr. Thakkar, when we are talking of nutraceuticals, there's a tendency of taking it just off the shelf. And that's where I think a consultation from a physician, getting the disease or getting the whole condition diagnosed is very important. It need not be started just on your own. So a self-medication of nutraceutical is also something which needs to be resisted at times. You need to consult your physician. In a case of PMS, you need to consult your gynecologist, do a thorough checkup and see what exactly is the issue.
But you know, your question of is there a solution? I entirely agree with him that you've got your diagnosis. But this is going to happen month on month, year on year. So that's where nutraceuticals come in. Did anyone dream that magnesium gives muscle relaxation, sleep, and good relief from premenstrual symptoms? So essential amino acids, calcium, magnesium, ginkgo biloba, and of course the primrose oil. So if you have a nutraceutical package which encompasses all these things in the right percentage, the height of your roller coaster will be lowered. The depth of your roller coaster will be raised, and you will have a smooth onset into the period. Now, this is important for every woman to realize as to which component is helping her most, whether it's the cramps and the pain, whether it's the irritability and mood swings, whether it's the tenderness in the body parts, or whether it's the wild cravings. But all these things, with good habits, with proper lifestyle, after consulting your gynecologist, nutraceutical supplementation will definitely ease the path, and it should be offered, because month on month I cannot keep giving you drugs. More so because you are in the fertility zone. This woman is going to be a mother, and I do not want any antenatal issues which never arise when you take nutraceuticals.
So it sounds like nutraceuticals are a great way to help with PMS. I would love for my highs and lows to be not so high and not so low. But Dr. Desai, is this something that is going to be a solution to our PMS symptoms, or is this something we're going to have to take every month?
So when you look at these nutraceuticals, they're not magic pills that they would sort out all your problems and you pop a pill and it's taken care of. They need to be taken on a longer duration. You need to take it for say 3 months, 6 months, depending on how exactly the dosages that have been administered, as Dr. Thakkar mentioned. Which are the nutraceuticals which are helping you with your predominant symptom which is there, whether it's the cramps, whether it's the mood swings, whether it's the sleep pattern which is there. See, when you go for a weight reduction or a body toning or something to a gym, it doesn't happen one day that, oh, you do your treadmill, you lift the weights and then you have the muscles. You need to do it on a sustained basis. Similarly, the nutraceutical needs to be used on a long term, on a sustained basis under your supervision of your physicians and the gynecologist.
That makes sense. Now, what I really loved about what you said is how they're so specifically curated to what your specific needs or symptoms are. Whereas in my past, when I've gone to a certain gynac or a doctor, they've just given me a painkiller or a general period medicine. So how, in that sense, does a nutraceutical differ from modern medicine? Dr. Thakkar?
So the role of nutraceuticals is not to banish or abolish PMS, but is to buffer the symptoms. Medicines will banish it for that particular event, but it could return the next day. Right. But if you had vitamin D deficiency, if you had magnesium at lower levels, if you took primrose oil and you took it for 3 to 4, 5, 6 months, then after 6 months you would find that the PMS is milder.
Wow.
And maybe in a year you might find it's acceptable. It's not going to go away, because we don't want to tamper with your hormones.
Right.
Nutraceuticals only help to buffer the shock. The hormones have to do their role. Women have to go through the cycle. It's just that natural substances help you to cope with it in a natural, less medicinal used way. That's it.